Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Good evening, all. So before I start, can anyone please confirm whether my voice is clear, whether the screen is visible or not, right?
Yeah, I can hear and see the screen.
Thank you. So yesterday we had an introductory session, demo session, right? Just I'll take 5 minutes what I discussed in the last class. Why data engineer is required, and role of a data engineer, difference between a data engineer, data scientist, and list, Azure data engineering products or services, job market of Azure data engineer, right? Yes. So here that we are using, we are just running on a cloud, that is Azure cloud, right? Why cloud is required? Cloud is majorly utilized for storing, analyzing, and delivering data in various form. Why cloud required? Already we have got on-premise. Why we need to go for cloud means in on-premise, we need to set up our own hardware infrastructure. On top of that, OS installation, purchasing of database license, installation of database server, designing database objects, designing database objects. To maintain all this, we require separate team. To maintain all this, we require separate teams. Hardware team is required, operating system team, networking team, security team, database administrators, right? But here, everything in the cloud premises, we need to maintain all this. We need to maintain all this, right? Yes. But here, everything in the cloud premises, we don't need to maintain all this. To maintain all, again, no need to maintain any infrastructure, no need to maintain any licenses. Here, everything in the cloud environment. Here, everything in the cloud environment, right? Yes. Yeah. So data engineer with, I was just talking in this day, I was just briefing you, right? In data engineers with the help of cloud service. Okay, 1 second. Data engineers with the help of cloud services. They work on the data, they make it structured and useful. They make it structured and useful. Data engineer is responsible for smooth data flow. Data engineer is responsible for smooth data flow from source to destination, right? Yes. Data engineer is responsible for smooth data flow from source to destination. Data engineer is responsible for preparing data, cleansing data, transforming data, and processing data, right? Data scientist, data scientist. On the other side, right? Data scientist, just in a single word, strategizes for the future. Strategizes for the future. Data analyst summarizes the past. Understand here? Data scientist is going to analyze the data, identifies the key patterns and recommendations for the future. But data analyst analyze the data, summarize the data of the past, and are going to visualize the data. Data scientist, everything deals with the data here, right? Either data scientist or data analyst or data engineer, everything deals with the data. Data has got experience, data has got future reference using this data, right? The data scientist perform data analysis. Using the data only, perform data predictions, data only, data classification, data clustering, data recommendation. Who is going to bring the data? Who is going to pull the data from different sources? Who is going to extract it? Who is going to process it? Who is going to filter as per the requirement? Everything done by data engineering. Data, who is going to extract the data from different sources, and with some logic, they need to be processed, they need to be filtered, So all these things, right? Yes. That's right. Preparing the data done by data engineer, cleansing or filtering the data done by data engineer, transforming the data as per the requirement, and processing the data, everything done by data engineer. So that's why here data engineer does all the groundwork for data scientist and analyst. More than 80% of data analysis work is done by data engineers. Data engineering involves what are the sources of the data? What is the format of the data? How to transform or process the data? Means just what are the sources from where I need to pull the data from? What is the format of the data? In what format? And how to transform or process the data? And what is the destination of the data? Data engineering involves these things, right? Yes. And today, if you see, previously, a typical ETL developer, previously we used to have a ETL developer, now data engineer, right? Why data engineer required? Why data engineer is in demand today as compared with that ETL developer? Means here data engineer, he should be able to work with all kinds of data. Should be able to work with all kind of data like structured, semi-structured, unstructured, and also like streaming data for NoSQL data. He need to work with all kind of data. But previous ETL developer, right, he used to work with the structured data. Now, why Azure data engineer? Why Azure data engineer is required? And role of Azure data engineer. I will come back to this role, but we take about any organization, right? Any organization, if it is using Azure for its operations, mainly it is going to hire two people, Azure data engineer and data scientist. And first, the data engineer, what is going to do is going to create a data warehouse for the organization. Data warehouse, it's a storage of structured data, and it can be queryable data, right? Data warehouse contains data from various resources such as new users, old users, means existing customer data, new users logs. So data engineers, they are going to structure the data, stores it, monitors it in data warehouse. Secondly, the data engineers, they need to keep communicating with the data scientists to understand the data requirement. He also communicates with the business team to know the business requirement of the organization. So the data engineer, he should always keep in mind the business needs when dealing with the data in the hand, right? Data engineer, they keep constantly, they process, analyze, and monitors the data. Processing the data, analyzing, and monitoring the data. Data engineers creates a data pipeline through which the data is integrated with all the crucial stages of the data flow. And also the data engineer should make sure that that pipeline is always efficient and secure. This is the primary role of a data engineer. Apart from this, if you see the various other roles of Azure data engineer, right? Designing the entire data flow architecture, creating a data warehouse for storage of analytical data. They create data warehouse, right? And ETL, one of the important key task of Azure data engineer, ETL, extracting, transforming, and loading. They need to extract data from multiple sources, resources, transform it into structured and queryable form. And later they load the data into company's storage service for further business evaluations by the data scientist. Data monitoring, right? Data engineers make sure that the ETL is performed in a proper way and the data is available everywhere, anywhere and everywhere where it is required, right? Data security also, it is a major responsibility of data engineers that the data need to be secure at each step of the process without any data leaks or data exposures. Collaboration and communication, right? They have to constantly communicate with the business team to check if that team requires data insights. Collaborating with the data scientist and delivering the data as per his requirement, as per his needs. And analytics and data engineers should have some analytical skills to perform this kind of analysis. And certain things has to be automated, such as like extraction process, which requires minimal human intervention, right? So these are the role of Azure data engineer, mainly performing ETL and creating data warehouse, extracting, transforming, and loading, like previous a typical ETL developer, what he used to do, now a data engineer does. But also data engineer has to deal with all kinds of data, structured, unstructured, semi-structured kind of data. You need to work with the file systems, you need to work with the databases, you need to work with the data warehouses, streaming data, which keeps on generating, which keeps on incrementing, and a kind of NoSQL kind of data, right? Like schemaless behavior. Azure data engineering products or services. Azure data engineering products or services. Just and that I was just giving overview about this Azure data engineering products or services. Azure SQL, right? What are the different Azure data engineering products or services like Azure SQL? In a simple word, Azure SQL, right? It is a cloud or DBMS. Simple, in a simple word, it's a cloud or DBMS database of Microsoft. It is for OLTP operations. It is for OLTP operations. Online transactional processing, right? It is going to capture the end user transactions. It's not for data warehouse. And I was just talking about Azure Data Lake. I was talking about this Azure Data Lake, and just I was giving overview about means Azure SQL storing data in the form of tables. Azure Data Lake storing data in the form of files. It's a distributed file system. So Azure Data Lake, right? Azure Data Lake storage, we say ADLS. Azure Data Lake storage. So mostly used in our use cases, Azure Data Lake. It's a distributed file system with unlimited storage in cloud. That is a data lake. See, it is a repository, I can say. Data lake is a kind of repository. Azure Data Lake is a kind of repository where large varieties of data, what kind of data, either structured, unstructured, or semi-structured data can be stored. Previously, if we heard about HDFS, if we have knowledge on this big data, right? You got HDFS, Hadoop Distributed File System, that is on-premise distributed file system. The same way Azure Data Lake, Cloud DFS, Cloud DFS, Cloud Distributed File System, right? See, every cloud data lake, it is going to provide some kind of benefits. Every cloud data lake provides some benefits. Here, what benefit Azure Data Lake provides means unlimited data storage is possible. That is the first one. Second is supports all varieties of data. Azure Data Lake supports all varieties of data. All varieties of data means structured data. Structured data means database tables, Excel files, and also it supports semi-structured data like XML, JSON, unstructured data like images, videos, raw text, all these things, right? So it supports all varieties of data. Azure Data Lake distributed file system supports all varieties of data. Supports all varieties of data, right? Yes. Structured, unstructured, and semi-structured. I said it was a repository, right? Of all varieties of data, and every cloud data lake provides this kind of benefit. And one thing, Azure Data Lake, then why you are going with other services like we have got other storage services See, we have got Azure data lake, but for example, you have got some files. Assume that you have got some files. emp.txt file is there. dept.txt file is there. Think you have got some text files and some attendance.txt files are there, right? Salaries.txt, salaries, right? Yes. Yes. You got some files here. They're text files. Are you able to maintain any relationship between the files? If data is stored in the form of files, do you able to set up any kind of relationship between the files? Not possible, right? If you have got a tables, if you have got four tables, right? If you have got tables, maintaining the relationship is possible, right? Uh, for using like a primary key, foreign key relationship, right? Yes. For example, files, okay, you cannot maintain relationship. For example, in a labor example, orders is one table, sales transactions is one table, right? Customers is one table. Products is one table, right? You got some tables in this way. Can you maintain relationship between the tables? Yes. What is just a labor example? What relation? Orders of what? Orders of what? Orders of what? A product. Orders of what? A product. Product booked for whom? Product booked for whom? A customer. And the customer, once the order confirmed, it's a sales transaction. Understand here? Orders. Order of what? Order of what? A product. Product booked for whom? A customer. A customer, once order confirmed, it's a sales transaction. So you can maintain some kind of relationship, right? So what I'm expecting? So what I'm expecting here? So I'm expecting a cloud RDBMS. I'm expecting a cloud RDBMS. That too, cloud RDBMS. That too, used for data warehouse. That too used for data warehouse. That too I'm expecting. That too I'm expecting. Parallel processing. That too I'm expecting what? Parallel processing. That is nothing but Azure Synapse Analytics. It performs all this. Synapse Analytics. Okay. So I'm expecting a cloud RDBMS. And that too, should be used for data warehouse. Already we got Azure SQL. It is cloud RDBMS for OLTP purpose, but I want for data warehouse. That too, I'm expecting parallel processing. That is nothing but Azure Synapse Analytics. Azure Synapse Analytics. Yesterday, just I was briefing you, right? Yes. Azure Synapse Analytics for data warehouse operations, for big data operations, for parallel processing, and for batch applications. Batch applications, there are two types of applications: batch applications, online applications. Generally, we deal with batch applications here, not with online application. Online application means request response architecture. Request response. Whenever you give a request, you get a response. That is what? Whenever you give a request, we get a response. That is what? Online. Online processing or online application. But we are not dealing with that kind of giving a request, one transactions or two transactions, but millions and trillions of transactions, right? Batch. And that too, in the case of online applications, user gives the input there. Compulsory, whenever you perform a transaction, user has to give the input. Booking a movie ticket or making an online transaction, user input compulsory. Batch application, user nowhere required, millions and trillions of records. A small example, right? A labor example, credit card statements generation for millions of customer. User is nowhere required for generating that. Yes. So in Azure Synapse Analytics, right? Here we have a database. Here we have a database. Azure Synapse. Azure Synapse. SQL pool DB. Simply we say Synapse DB. Simply we say what? Synapse DB. What is Synapse DB? What is Synapse DB? Cloud data warehouse. Cloud data warehouse of Azure. What is Synapse DB? Yes, cloud data warehouse of Azure. Okay, fine. That's fine. So that is Azure Synapse Analytics. Talking about that, one of the important component of this important product or service of this Azure Data Engineer, Azure Data Factory. Azure Data Factory, right? Yes, Azure Data Factory. In a simple word, in a single way, right? Just I'm saying it is Cloud ETL. See, we have got many on-premise ETL tools. On-premise ETL tools like Informatica, Talent, Data Stage, like we have got many on-premise. But I want, see, Cloud ETL. It's a Cloud ETL or cloud-based ETL of Microsoft in Azure, right? Yes. For example, I'm taking OLTP systems. OLTP systems. Data warehouse, right? Yes. OLTP systems, data warehouse, right? Yes. OLTP systems and data warehouse, right? What are the OLTP systems? Azure SQL. Azure SQL is an OLTP. Oracle, like on-premise. MySQL, SQL Server, right? Azure SQL, Oracle, MySQL, SQL Server, MongoDB. All these are OLTP. And if you see data warehouse, Azure Synapse, we have got Teradata. Teradata, a specialized database used for data warehouse. Another specialized database used for data warehouse, right? Netija, Vertica. If you heard about this databases, right? Specialized databases used for data warehouse. Teradata, Netija, Vertica. These are the databases used for data warehouse. Okay. Azure SQL at OLTP side, Azure Synapse at data warehouse side. Where is ADF? ADF. ADF doesn't come in OLTP. It doesn't come in OLTP. ADF doesn't come in, yes, it doesn't come in data warehouse. Either it doesn't come in OLTP or in data warehouse. Where you will see that ADF means in between these two, OLTP and data. Here you can see in the middle, right? It is not with OLTP. It doesn't come in data warehouse. It comes between this OLTP and data warehouse, right? You can see here. Okay. Between these OLTP systems and data warehouse systems, you can see ADF. In a simple way, right? ADF is a integration service between these OLTP systems and data warehouse systems. It acts as a integration service. What is that? ADF is a integration service. Integration service. between OLTP, between OLTP systems, between OLTP systems and data warehouse systems, and data warehouse systems, right? ADF is an integration service between these OLTP systems and data warehouse systems. Yes. Sorry. Yes. For example, all transactions are captured. All transactions are captured at OLTP systems. OLTP, online transactional processing systems, like Oracle, MySQL, or Azure SQL. All transactions are captured at OLTP systems. How to bring this? How to bring these transactions? Say how to bring these transactions into warehouse system? How to bring these transactions into warehouse system? We have ETL, right? We have ETL. We have ETL by using ETL tools. By using ETL tools. What are the ETL tools available? Informatica, Talent, Data Stage. All these are on-premise ETL tools. All these are on-premise ETL tools. All these are on-premise ETL tools. But I need a ETL. But I need a ETL on cloud. I need a ETL on cloud. That is what ADF. That is what ADF. So bringing all the transactions into warehouse systems, who brings it? ETL, by using ETL tools. Informatica, Talent, Data Stage, all these are on-premise ETL tools, but in the same way, I want a ETL and cloud. That is what ADF. Using this ADF, we can connect with cloud databases, non-cloud databases, NoSQL databases. Yes. Using ADF, we can connect with cloud databases, non-cloud databases, NoSQL databases. Okay. Here it is ETL. Understand here? Here it is ETL. Here it is ETL. But our working style is ELT. But our working style is ELT. Extract, load, transform. Extract, load, transform. Okay. ETL, you extract, transform, and load it. That is for small volumes. For small volumes of data. But ELT is suitable for huge volumes. Extract, load, and transform for huge volumes. For huge volumes of data. For small volumes of data, yes, go for ETL, right? Yes, understood this. So simple way, it's like ETL, that to cloud ETL, that is ADF. Extracting, transforming, and loading, we perform here, right? Yes. So here one more thing in in this in Informatica, Informatica is a ETL, right? Informatica is a ETL. In Informatica, 80% drag and drop. 80% we perform drag and drop. 20% we write scripts. 20% writing SQL scripts. But here in ADF, but here in ADF, zero coding ETL, we say that here in ADF, 100% drag and drop. It doesn't have anything tried to write some scripts, 100% drag and drop, right? So it's a 0%, 0%, zero coding, right? ETL tool, right? So no prerequisites for this ADF, no prerequisites, zero coding, ETL we say, right? Yes. Azure Data Factory, next Azure Databricks. Azure Databricks is one of the other important component, right? Other important product of Azure Data Engineering, right? Azure Data Engineering. Apache Spark based data analytics platform. Apache Spark based data analytics platform, right? Yes. Right. So in a simple way, I discussed, right? Apache Spark based data analytics platform. Azure Databricks. First, what do you mean by Databricks? First, I'll come back to Azure Databricks, but first, what is Databricks? Databricks. Anyone? What is Databricks? So normally all the sessions will be interactive sessions. It's a demo session I was speaking most of the time, but in normal session, you can here also you can interact if you got any queries. Yeah. What is Databricks? In a simple way, provides Spark cluster. What it provides? Spark cluster in cloud. Spark cluster in cloud. Databricks means providing Spark cluster in cloud. You may ask people who are from other background, you may ask, what is Spark? What is a Spark? Anyone? What is Apache Spark, we say? It is a very high speed. It is a very high speed.
Computation engine, I guess.
Processing execution engine or model, you can say. It's a very high speed processing execution engine or model for processing or which process huge data or big data, right? Which process huge data, It's a very high speed processing execution model which process huge data or big data, right? Yes. Motivation towards Spark. Spark is 100 times faster. Spark is 100 times faster than normal disk processing. Normal disk processing, right? Yes. Just a small example. Already you can see that example, right? The Google also. Spark is 100 times faster than normal disk processing. For example, Yahoo has conducted a test to check the speed of different data. Yahoo has taken a table, it has taken a table of 100 TB. It has taken a table of 100 TB consisting of 1024 columns. The task was sorting based on 16 columns. So what is the time taken by different databases? Time taken by, right? 100 TB data. Sorting not on a single column, on 16 columns. Oracle has taken nearly 3.5 days. And MySQL has taken around 6 days to process. Teradata, right? A specialized database used for data warehouse. It has taken very less time. It has just taken 4.5 hours. It has taken. Netija, another specialized database used for data warehouse. It has just taken 3 hours of time. I think you are aware about big data Hadoop. Big data Hadoop has just taken 3.4 minutes. 3.4 minutes. Hadoop has just taken 3.4. Where is this minutes? This have taken days of time. This have taken hours of time, minutes of time. In Hadoop, we go with MapReduce execution model. MapReduce, right? MapReduce. It's a very, it is designed excellently. It's a parallel execution model for designed for parallel processing. So it brought a revolution in the distributed computation, right? Big data Hadoop it has brought a revolution in this distributed computation and parallel processing. It has just taken 3.4 minutes. Okay, but Spark is 1 second. Spark is 100 times faster, 100 times faster than Hadoop. MapReduce. Spark is 100 times faster than Hadoop. Already this have taken very less time, then see the speed of Spark. When Hadoop has taken 3.4, then see the speed of Spark when it is 100 times faster than Hadoop. That is what the motivation towards Spark. It's a very high speed processing execution model which process huge data, big data at a quick time, right? Yes. So Spark runs on a cluster. Who provides that cluster? Databricks. Spark should run on a cluster. Spark runs on a cluster. Who provides that cluster? Yes, Databricks provides the cluster. So here, that's why here we use it's a Databricks. It is a Apache Spark based data analytics platform. So that's why today, if we see this Apache Spark and this Azure Databricks has got a great demand. Databricks and this Azure Databricks and this Databricks not only for Azure, it is available for all the clouds like Azure GCP and for this AWS, right? So it has got a great demand, that too with Spark. So as part of the course, I'll be discussing in brief about this Apache Spark, means PySpark. I'll be discussing in brief because it's the main execution engine which will be used in all this, right? So here, just Azure streaming, just I'll be giving the briefing about these other products. Like I'll come back to this. You have got a lot of discussion on this Azure Databricks I'll be discussing, but Azure streaming, capturing high volumes of streaming data, capturing high volumes of streaming data from multiple sources simultaneously. Streaming data means data which keeps on incrementing, which keeps on generating. So capturing that, so we have got Azure streaming and Azure Cosmos DB, just like MongoDB, we have got Cosmos DBs, same like MongoDB, it's on-premise, but similar to that on cloud-based NoSQL, cloud-based NoSQL database. What do you mean by NoSQL? Right, NoSQL. If you see the today the top 50 e-commerce websites, they're using NoSQL, right? Because schemaless behavior, schemaless. In case of SQL, schema compulsory, mandatory, first record to last record, same number of columns or fields to be maintained. But in case of NoSQL, record to record, different number of fields or columns can be maintained. First record with 3 fields, second record with 5 fields, third record with 10 fields. So record to record different number of fields can be maintained. And one more, Azure Key Vault, right? For to in a simple way to protect data in the cloud, right? We have got that. So as part of our sessions or part of our class, right, I'll be discussing on this Azure Data Engineer. Azure Data Engineer, right? In that major discussion will be on these 4 things. And also I'll be giving knowledge on this fabrics. All right. And Azure Data Factory, I said no coding involved, zero coding, ETL, no prerequisites. It's everything drag and drop, 100% drag and drop, right? And Azure Databricks, here it is code free, but this is code based. Azure Databricks, PySpark, these things, PySpark especially, I'll be discussing in brief, not like overview or like other training sites. In brief, I'll be discussing about PySpark data frames, and Azure Synapse Analytics. It's a single stop solution for all those. I say it's for data warehouse operations, for big data operations, for analytics, and for batch applications, batch processing, right? Yes. So majorly these things will be discussing in brief, right? So the duration will be around 2.5 months to 3 months. So around 2.5 months I'll be taking. If anybody wants to complete it faster, you can attend. So whenever ADF is going on, right, in other batch, you can also, whenever data bricks or these things will be starting, you can attend it parallelly to just complete in 1.5 months. So you can go parallelly with multiple, we can understand it. It's totally deals with the drag and drop, no coding. It's like the basic Python knowledge required. This requires some basic Python knowledge, basic SQL and basic Python, right? So I said as, 1 second, there is an offer provided, right? 1 second. So you'll be getting, if anyone who doesn't have knowledge, anyhow, I'll be briefing about the Python syntaxes before I go with the Databricks and PySpark. So even people who doesn't have knowledge on basic Python, you'll be getting around 25 days time. We'll be discussing ADF first. You'll be getting 25 days. You'll be can go through that. Means you'll be given Python videos, like basic Python videos, around 30 videos you can just go through, and uh, MySQL videos will be given as the data you can just go through. Yes. So there is offer given by this DurgaSoft. Some videos access it is providing freely. I'll come back to it. And Azure Synapse Analytics. Apart from this, you'll be getting knowledge on this Azure SQL, because as a ADF developer, as a Databricks developer, or a PySpark developer, as a data engineer, you'll be interacting with Azure SQL, you will be interacting with data lake, you will be interacting with streaming, right? So you'll be getting knowledge on this Azure SQL, data lake, and Azure streaming. We'll be creating these services, we'll be interacting with these services as this, right? You'll be getting knowledge on this. So in brief, knowledge on these things, right? Yes. And if you check with this course content, right, in brief, in depth, we'll be discussing, right? Yes. 1 second, hold on. So Azure Data Factory. So first overview about this services, and Azure Data Factory architecture, Data Factory portal UI, pipelines, activities, linker service, data sets, triggers, data flows, right? And pipeline, what is a pipeline? How we create pipelines as a main ETL, like if as a main data engineer, right? As a ADF developer, main thing is you create pipelines. The pipelines you're going to embed activities work with the data means data sets. So how to create pipeline, how to organize pipeline, debugging pipeline, publishing pipeline parameters, linked services. If ADF wants to connect with any other Azure or non-Azure or cloud or non-cloud or other on-premise, right? If ADF wants to extract data from other source like cloud or other cloud, not Azure cloud, like other cloud or other on-premise, linker service to be created first. We need to link, means like we need to establish a connection between this ADF. ADF is a service, and with other thing, right? Like Oracle, if you want to make establish a connection, or other AWS cloud, or any other, right? Same Azure to Azure or Azure to non-Azure or other on-premise, right? We require this linker service. How we can get linker service for SQL database, for SQL server, for data lake and data sets, working with the different file formats, working with the data, right? Avro file, binary file, CSV file, Excel files, JSON files, ORC files, Parquet files, XML files, right? And parameterizations and activities, different types of activities we got inbuilt as copy data activity, get metadata activity, filter activity, for each activity, looping activities, right? Many activities are there. Those everything in brief. Lookup activities, stored procedures, get metadata, validation, filter for each, if conditions, which this condition activities, if conditions, which for each is a looping activity, filtering activity, right? All this. No need to write any code, directly everything drag and drop. Triggers, if you want to schedule, right? There are multiple like scheduled based is there, custom storage event. Whenever any event occur, then that it has to schedule tumbling window triggers, right? Different triggers and integration runtime. So yes, integration runtime, source control, ARM templates, and how we can move the entire things from production environment to, that is from dev environment to production environment. All that resources, whatever we created, right? We want to move from one environment to other environment. And data flows, it's one of the important thing which you got that ADF version 2, you got it. Different types of inbuilt transformations it is providing. Which one? Data flows. In Informatica, you should have seen all those things you can see, right? Here also filter transformation, giant transformation, aggregate, conditional split transformation, exist transformation, union transformation, lookup transformation, sort, group by, pivot, unpivot, pattern transformation, parse, stringify, filter, sort, alter row, flowlet, all these things one by one with many working examples. Remove duplicate rows, slowly changing dimensions, SCD type 1, type 2 I'll be discussing, and around 50 practical exercises I'll be discussing. You can just check what I'm going to discuss. Copy activities and work, how to perform, how to use triggers, data flows, different types of transformations we use, right? So this is about ADF. Coming to this Azure Databricks, some prerequisites required for this Databricks. So just I'll be briefing you about the prerequisites, like even some of it doesn't have the prerequisites, like what are the overview on this big data, Hadoop and Spark, right? Spark anyhow in brief I'll be discussed, but big data, Hadoop, right? I'll be just providing the prerequisites before we go with the Spark and this Databricks. So everything, and also in cloud computing Azure, right? I'll be giving overview about this, and cluster management. And before that, Databricks service, how Databricks service adding users and groups, creating a cluster. Both means generally when you step into the company, right? So everything will be ready-made that directly you can work. But here, as you need to work with the practicals, you need to set up your own things. You need to perform all those. So admin related, development related, maximum development related, but admin related, because you need to create all things. If you want to work, if you want to do the practicals, first you need to set up the things, right? The cluster you need to create, the workspace you need to create, all these things. How to create, we'll be discussing all the things from the scratch. I'll be showing you from the creation of this free subscription onwards. I'll be discussing everything step by step. I recommend you to do the practicals parallelly along with me. So that's it. That's what hands-on, right? Anywhere, if anyone got any error, you'll be sharing the screen. So you'll be checking. You need to know how to solve that errors also, right? So most of the sessions will be, all the sessions will be practical oriented. No theory here. Hands-on, you can do parallelly along with me. Adding users, creating clusters with the user interface, creating. I'll be also show like right code based how you can do that, and also like UI based. Both available, UI based how we do, and also with code also how we can perform the things. In Databricks, we work with notebooks. In ADF, we work with pipelines. And also these notebooks also, how we can execute from ADF also, I'll be showing you how to execute Databricks notebooks from ADF. And Databricks cluster management, displaying cluster, starting cluster, terminating cluster, deleting a cluster, cluster information, cluster logs, cluster access control, types of cluster, all purpose cluster, job cluster, Databricks pools, Databricks with pools, without pools, right? Yes. Clusters mode, right? And standard cluster, high concurrency cluster, single node, auto scaling, Databricks runtime versions, multi-user cluster, Databricks utilities, credential utility, data utility, file system utility, job utility, library utility, notebook utility, or secret utility, widgets utility, right? Limitations of utilities. Database integration with blob storage and with data lake, with SQL database, Synapse and Snowflake, and handling multiple file formats, working with different types of data, CSV, JSON, Parquet files. Most of the time we work with Parquet files, JSON files, right? Excel files, XML files, ORC files, Avro files. Batch processing, working with the PySpark related functionalities, historical data load, incremental data load, date transformations, aggregation, join operations, window functions, union operations, Databricks streaming API, streaming, processing, streaming, and PySpark API, handling bank records, loading the data into tables, Databricks Lakehouse, Delta Lake, introducing this Delta Lake, features of Delta Lake, creating Delta Lake, Delta tables, how to perform operations in Delta table, merge statements, SCD type 1, type 2 implementation, handling data deduplication, handling streaming data, workflows in Databricks, introduction, creating, running, and managing Databricks jobs, scheduling Databricks jobs, and monitoring. And coming to this Synapse Analytics also in brief, in depth, I'll be discussing, working with serverless pools, Apache Spark pools, dedicated SQL pools, other Synapse triggers, and incremental loading, logging and notifications, deep dive into copy data activities and data flows, different transformations, and here Spark pool in this Azure Synapse. Yes, this everything in brief, right? Yes. So just coming back, right? So offerings from my side, you will be getting, even if you miss any session, right? So you will be getting each and every session will be video recorded. You will be getting each and every session video recorded. You will be getting the video of each and every session. If you miss any session or one session or couple of session, can just attend that, go through the videos, can go through that and attend the next session for the better understanding, right? All that every day when the session completes within 1 hour time, you will be getting the videos to your Google Drive, soft copy of the class notes, clear soft copy of these notes, and assignments and tasks to work with, and a WhatsApp group where you can have direct interaction with me, the WhatsApp group created by me. So for what all the batches, for all my batches, I'll be creating WhatsApp group so that the student can have direct interaction with me. If any errors, they can take the snap of that errors and post that in the WhatsApp group. Anybody can answer, I'll be answering it. And during the sessions, you will be kept in unmuted status. A total session, you can keep interacting for everything, for every task. What I do, you will be responding, right? What will be the output? And also hands-on sessions, you can do parallelly. What I recommend you to do parallelly all the things, right? So that you'll be getting more exposure towards this practical part and resumes and interview questions, right? And I'll also discuss some couple of projects. Yes.
How many projects, sir?
2 projects I'll be discussing.
2 projects. Okay.
See, demo sessions like, okay, it will be at 7 p.m. I said, but regular session starts at 6 p.m. So your timing is 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. is your timing. 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., right? Yes. So as a demo session yesterday and today, the sessions went at 7 o'clock, but a regular session 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., right? So yes. So related to that, I'll be just briefing you about the practicals. Python, if the basic Python required, right? Basic Python, basic SQL. So still the videos also will be provided. By the time ADF completes, you can just go through that. And also I'll also brief you about the syntaxes of Python before we go with the practical part. So the next session will be on Monday. So for Monday, we'll be starting with the actual things. We'll be starting with that. So I'll be spending so ADF. So we'll be discussing 4 courses internally, right? Azure Data Factory, Databricks, PySpark, Synapse Analytics, right? So we'll be spending a lot of time. Whenever required, I'll just pre-intimate. I'll be taking some extra sessions to work with this. So you want more time we need to spend with many working examples. That's fine. From Monday, the sessions will be at 6 p.m., right? So the link will be changing. You are supposed to get enrolled for getting the link to your mail, right? So from Monday, we'll be starting with the actual course, starting with this ADF introduction, right? The Azure Data Factory and this building blocks of ADF and the versions of ADF. What is the difference between the previous version and that previous version? Lot of prerequisites were there, but from ADF version 2 onwards, all this, there is no prerequisites at all. I'll also discuss a bit previously how it was, now how it is, right? And version differences and the building blocks of ADF you need to understand before we go with the practical part. Yeah. And everything from the scratch, how to create a free subscription, and don't go with the paid subscription for doing these practicals. Go with free subscription, how to get it. And even after that free subscription is completed, with a very, very minimal cost, how we can work with the practicals. And after each practical session, what you need to delete. And early next, whenever the next day when you want to work with the practicals, within 2 minutes, how we can create it back. Just I'll be briefing what you need to delete so that with very less cost, right? You can work with the practical. Why? Because if you're working with PySpark, Spark, right? Especially PySpark has a Spark SQL related, like some premium things required. So that also how we can get the premium access so that all the features we can work with. I'll be showing all that features, right? Fine. Any other queries you got, you can go with your queries, everyone, right? Yes. You can unmute yourself and you can ask for the queries, right?
So, hi,
So,
sir.
yes, Abjit, right? Yes.
Yeah. So, actually, I wanted to know means how many real time projects means we will be working
Two, two
on
projects
this.
I'll be, two
Okay.
projects I'll be discussing, right?
And those will be on ADF or data breaks on PySpark means.
So generally, all will be involved.
Okay. Okay. And sir, means already I have an experience in on-premises. Okay, so just I want to enhance my experience in cloud. So in that case, sir, I have already experience in IT. So can I do this means so that I will means I can move to D
Means
domain?
you already got knowledge on Spark.
No, on-premise means I was working as a MSBI domain
Okay,
previously.
it's fine, right? But okay, everything looks simple. See, one thing, right? Being regular to the sessions, interacting in the sessions, doing the practicals, whatever we do, right? So it looks definitely you can go through the interview process. Many examples will be discussing, lot of working examples. Okay. It looks very simple. Even Databricks also, right? Code based also, but still I'm saying not like the other training sites. I'll be discussing the entire Spark here because Spark is the main execution engine here, right? Even in ADF, Spark execution happens in that backend, right? Background. In Databricks also Spark. Here also Spark. Everywhere you see Spark execution happening, right? That's why in brief, I run lot of Spark batches, weekend batches, on-premise batches are there, cloud batches are there, Spark with Scala batches and Spark with Python batches are there. I'm running lot of weekend batches for Spark, but as for you, in this course, I also discuss in brief PySpark batch. PySpark, because Spark is the main execution, right? In this area of Databricks and Synapse, the total Spark is the main execution engine here. Yeah. So it looks simple only. Everything I'll make it simpler, each and everything. Uh, During the sessions, wherever you got struck up, just you can ask. I will provide multiple examples. And here I said there are no prerequisites. It looks very simple, but here we'll be writing code. Here also we'll be writing. So not code means huge codes we won't write. We have got many inbuilt functionalities. We'll be we'll be just working with many working examples with that built-in functionalities. And, okay. Any other queries you got? It's yes.
Hello, sir.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes. Nilesh, right?
Sir, currently, yes. Currently, I'm working as a Azure data engineer, and here I'm working on the data warehousing platform right now as a Synapse data engineer.
Hmm.
So I just wanted to know regarding how many days it will take for the ADF to complete the ADF lectures because I have experience in data warehousing right now, but I do not have any experience on the working on this ADF part. So that's the main thing. And also, are you covering the that slowly changing dimension type one, type two practically that how to implement that by using ADF and data flow?
Definitely, definitely. You can see in the course content also, right? I clearly specified SED type 1, type 2. We can see here in ADF, right? Slowly changing dimensions, SED type 1, type 2. So with
Okay.
using mapping data flow, right? This is the part of our task. Okay.
Okay.
In
So
not only here
it will be, the
using
pipeline will be created. Yeah.
in ADF, I'll be showing you. In Databricks also, I'll be showing you. In Databricks also, this how we can write code based, right? SED type 1, type 2 implementations. You can see here, SED type 1, handling SED type 1 and type 2 in Databricks Lakehouse platform. Okay.
Sir, how many days it will take to complete the ADF part?
So I'll be spending around 35 days for it.
35
35,
days.
35 to, so in brief, in depth, I'll be discussing about it. So 1 second. So ADF. So clear notes will be provided for all these things, right? Yes. See all these things.
Okay, okay. And
So
sir,
each
one
note
more
like
question. So, yeah, one more question I have.
1 second, let me complete this for ADF only. This around 57 documents I'll be providing clear notes topic wise. You'll be getting the notes.
Okay.
And if you go for this Databricks clear notes for batch wise, I'll be creating this notes. You're also for your batch, everything. So this is what Databricks notes. Databricks and PySpark both combinedly the notes for this topic wise. Around 81 documents you'll be getting for this. Even for Synapse also, just separately notes for it, Azure Synapse. So data sets also I'll be providing. So this is all that in brief, in-depth notes. For batch wise, I'll be maintaining notes. So in brief, not like so topic wise notes, whenever you want to check any topic directly, that particular notes you can open. So these are all the batches I dealt with this data engineering, right? For batch wise. Okay, fine. There's someone was asking a
Sir, one
query.
more
Yeah.
question.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
go ahead.
what are the sources they are covering here in ADF part or creating pipeline?
In ADF, I said we'll be
Yes, sir.
using all this. 1 second. Just I'll show you. See, we'll be working with all kind of data here. 1 second. So here creating data sets, creating data like binary files, Excel files, JSON files, Parquet files. And here, 1 second. See, all types of file formats, right? Working with Parquet files, JSON files, XML files, CSV files,
Yeah.
Parquet files, all these files. We'll creating data sets and we'll be working with it. Okay.
Okay, sir. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
And also how to migrate from Oracle, like on-premise databases, also how we can pull the data from Azure to Azure, from non-Azure, and also from this on-premises also, how we can pull and how we can work it, right? Yes. Still, yes. Any other queries, right?
Microsoft Azure certification is there, right? ADF.
Yes,
So
yes.
for
So
that,
for certification also, just I'll be guiding you. I'll be taking some sessions on that, right? From couple of sessions. I'll be briefing you about that certificate, people who go for certifications. Okay.
so that is a yeah full proof we get, right? Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Do we require Scala here? Scala.
Scala is not required. No,
Okay, that's not.
we'll be
Okay.
discussing PySpark. Scala is previously used a lot in 2016, 17, 18, 19, but nowadays Spark with Python only it's used a lot. Even in the industry, Spark with Scala. I am also running a separate batches for Spark with Scala also, but in this Azure Data Engineering, PySpark only.
Okay. So for a fresher, or you can say 3 years of experience, does Scala with Azure
No, no,
are
no.
required?
Today industry is asking PySpark only rather than Scala.
PySpark. Okay.
Previously, they used to use, like I said right before COVID, they used to lock all Scala. Total implementations
Mhm.
went in Scala, but today, like Python mostly used because of ML kind of activities. It's very powerful. It has got powerful libraries for machine learning, for streaming, for graphs, right? As compared
Yes.
to Scala is the only used for Spark, and Python is used for all different environments, for all this machine learning, for AI, for all these things.
Gen AI. Yes.
It's for all
Yes.
this, but Scala is never used for those activities.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Scala is
Sir,
only, yes, yes,
yeah, I'm Rahul. Good
yes.
evening. Actually, I have one scenario. Can I explain that? Hello?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Scenario, you have got some task.
No, no, no. I have one scenario. I
Mhm.
just want to know whether we are covering that one or not, end to end. I have
Yes.
a scenario called end-to-end MLA or ML ops, which
Mm.
is right from input of data,
Mm.
past data. Now, in the present data will be trained by train.py, inference.py, and module registry in CI/CD pipeline. And that trained output data, present data, and then footfalls of present data by doing all this data preparation, data experiment, and the deployment, we have to measure the or like predict the future of the application. Are we covering this ML ops thing?
See, one thing, it comes in, okay, in MI, right?
Right,
ML, right?
right.
So generally, those things, I'm going with a different project, not like a real life use case, but
Correct.
not.
I just
But
want to compare that real life use case into this now. It's a kind of same inputting data, and we are storing a data in a data lake. Okay, and then we are doing the same thing. Analyze. We are doing it. Experimenting. We are doing it. So are we doing the experiment with the AWS SageMaker and or AI Foundry?
See, those things, right? I also discussed like data science with AI. In that, I'm covering those things as whatever.
Where you are covering?
So data science and AI batch, I also discussed data science and AI batch.
That
In
batch is there now.
yes, yes, it is coming from 15th,
Okay. So
15th
that
at
batch
9.
when it starts actually.
You can just check with this front office, right? In that data
Okay.
science and
So that has
AI,
not started yet, right?
which includes generative AI and the
So,
agentic AI, right? All
so
these
there
things.
you are covering this data bricks and all these things again.
No, no, no. Those things won't be covered. But
Okay.
your task related, that MLOps totally I'll be discussing in brief there.
Right from the train.py, how we
Yes,
are training the module and all.
yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So actually, I'm just coming from the AAML batch. I have
Mhm.
already paid also, but I'm just what is my requirement? Then I just came here and he said like this will be the requirement. That is why I'm just giving this actually this I want particular this thing to be covered. Whatever I said now. Uh,
Mhm.
is that in that batch you are taking it another batch, right? In that batch you are covering. If it covers, then I'll come into that batch.
Here we never used, I didn't use any word MLOps here.
Right,
So
right. Got it. I got it.
there you will be using. This frankly, definitely I was, when I was forwarding the syllabus, right?
So
I won't, I
in
didn't.
that batch, what all things you'll be covering?
So you can just check with that course content, right? In the front
Okay.
office. Otherwise, you can go to the site.
No,
That
I'll talk with her actually.
Mhm.
What I should say for this batch name?
DS plus AI, data science and AI.
Okay. Sure, sure. DS and AI, right? This is also gonna come upcoming, right?
Yes, yes, upcoming.
See, I'll come in that batch, sir.
Okay, fine.
Thank you.
So
Thank you
yes,
so much.
any other queries you got, right? Fine. So if I'm done with the queries, I'm stopping for now. Yes. And also just not only this, right? I handle different batches on this data engineering. This is Azure data engineering, GCP data engineering, and also Spark with Python, Spark with Scala batches. In the weekends, I'll be discussing big data, Hadoop, and all these things, right? Data engineering and data science related thing. So, okay, from Monday, we'll be starting with the actual things. So all the sessions will be interactive. All the sessions will be hands-on. You'll be doing and you'll be interacting with me, whatever queries you want. So I'm stopping for now.
Sir,
So yes,
DS and AI demo batch when it starts?
on 15th September, 9 p.m.
Oh, oh, 15th only demo also it starts. Okay, okay.
Yes, yes.
Theek. Thank you, sir.
So, okay, thank you all for your time. Thank you. Meet you on Monday. From Monday, it will be at 6 p.m., 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. that timing of this, right? So get enrolled, for getting the videos, for getting added to the WhatsApp group. Directly, you can interact with me, and also getting the notes on a regular basis. Thank you all for your time. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.